1.
Welcome everybody to Bizzy Yogi Wellness TV. I'm your host, Arianne OM, and I'm super excited to have Amanda Mestre here with us today.
So excited to be here.
And thank you to Gallery for hosting this beautiful segment in this beautiful space with local artists hanging on the wall behind us. You know, Miami is a hub for wellness, for amazing people that come from all over the world to, you know, feel healthy. For the sun, the beach, and we have so many, you know, wellness ambassadors, I'm going to call us, that are just constantly, you know, bringing cool events, bigger and better things. So the reason why Wellness TV is here, Bizzy Yogi, I want to highlight some amazing people like Amanda. And every show will have amazing guests that, you know, are entrepreneurs, that, you know, all they do is promote healing and wellness. So thank you guys for watching and tuning in live, and thank you, Amanda, for coming today.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. Yeah. This is amazing. It's such a cool project.
So this is our launch show. So we are, you know, gonna have fun with it, and we're kind of freestyling a little bit. So just, you know, enjoy. So Amanda, first of all, thank you for coming. And tell us your story of why you got into wellness, you know, what pushed you, what was your, you know, your past life. I know as, you know, yogis, we have like many lives. So tell us a little bit about your story.
Yeah, so I actually, I studied PR and marketing communications. I worked in that for about a year, and I was miserable, so miserable. It was probably one of the only moments in my life I remember going home and just wanting to cry every day. It just felt like all of the hard work and everything I was doing, I could never make my, whether it was my clients, my bosses, just the people around me happy. It was just, everyone was just miserable, and it made me miserable, and it was a very high stress environment. So I decided one day that I didn't want to do it anymore. I quit my job, and I stayed at home for maybe like 3 months, probably researching every single degree that you could possibly look into, and vibing it out, looking at the careers tied to degrees, going and shadowing professionals, just trying to figure out what my next move was going to be, because I had no idea, but I knew I had to do something. And I started working at my cousin's gym at that point, where I decided to become a personal trainer. I was like, well, I could do this for a little bit. You know, I like working out. This seems like a really fun environment. I can make some money in the meantime, especially if I decide to go back to school. So I started doing that, and then I fell in love with it. And I fell in love with the idea of not just moving, but moving from a standpoint of creating a healthy body, a healthy lifestyle, healthy routine, healthy habits. And then I got into it a little bit deeper, where I started loving the rehab aspect of it. So I started noticing that a lot of people were getting hurt, whether it was at the gym or outside of the gym. And I wanted to figure out a way to help them not just heal, rehab, but then also use it as preventative medicine. Not just like a good workout or come in and sweat, right? So I started shadowing some physical therapists. I started working at another gym at that point, and I took my first yoga class, and I fell in love. I was like, this is one of the hardest things I've ever done physically, challenging.
I hear that.
Yeah, extremely challenging. And I think everyone that takes a yoga class for the first time has that same reaction.
Yeah.
So really challenging, but at the same time, I saw the value in what it could do as a tool for my private clients at the time, for people that I would work with in the future. At the time, I was working at Equinox, actually, in Coral Gables.
Yep.
And I had a couple clients who were in their 60s, 70s, and had, even though they were pretty mobile, had a lot of spine injuries. So I was trying to find more tools to be able to better help them. And yoga ended up being one of them. So I decided, I left Equinox after a couple months. I decided I was going to get certified at that point. I did. And at that point, I just made the transition that I was going to move from personal training being the priority of the services that I offer to yoga. So clients I had at the time ended up loving it as I started sprinkling into our sessions. I started migrating. They started asking me for more yoga. So, hey, I see you 3 times a week. Can we do yoga twice a week? And we do training once a week. sure. So I started setting that up with them. It was great, and it just kind of migrated at that point that way. Yeah, I'm digging that.
We're live from Midtown, so
yeah,
you know
where that
we're
music's coming
definitely getting some awesome outside fun.
We should invite them in. So
Okay.
so that's basically how I got into yoga. I got into teaching yoga in the community, teaching privates, which is really the majority of what I do.
Okay. So would you say that, you know, that shift in your life was not only beneficial for you, but pretty much for everybody around you? You were happier, right? You were more connected to your purpose?
Sure. Yeah, 100%. I noticed a shift in me. So one of the things that I left out was that at the time when I quit my job at the PR firm, my mom had just passed away. And she had passed away after fighting cancer, breast cancer, metastasized over and over again for 9 years. And throughout those 9 years, she made a lot of shifts in her life to lead a healthier lifestyle. So it started with, eating organic foods, eating more vegetables, which we didn't really grow up eating a lot of vegetables. Just making healthier lifestyle choices in terms of the type of products that we had at home. So like household cleaners, just the energetic environment of the home as well. So kind of getting rid of things, shifting stuff around. And that for me was a huge influence in why I decided to take the health and wellness route. I really wanted to, aside from helping other people, I wanted to help myself, and I wanted to help my family, and I wanted to help my future children, and just create a healthier lifestyle that wasn't really there when I was growing up. I grew up in the 90s, so it was like we were eating fast food all the time, and it was just different. I had like fruit roll-ups in my backpack all the time. I didn't have apples, I didn't have pears, and so we had those foods sometimes, but really it was different. What I grew up with was different, and I knew that I didn't want that for myself moving forward, because I wanted to be as healthy as I could possibly be and really avoid getting sick. So preventative medicine.
Right.
At the same time, I knew that when I had kids, I wanted to have this healthy environment set up for them. Yeah. So that's really
awesome.
It was a big shift for me.
And when I sent you the speaker application, you wrote down yoga coach.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really interesting because most people are like, oh, I'm a yoga teacher. And, now coaches are, kind of, I'm going to say trendy. Like, I'm a business coach and, I'm a yoga teacher. But I love the fact that you put those together. So what is this yoga coach term? Is it the physical, the physical personal training with the yoga?
There's a fly that's harassing us right now.
So tell me a little bit about this, because again, Amanda has so many things about her that diversify the way that she's an entrepreneur as a yogi. And I always talk about finding your niche, being different, and I feel like this yoga coach thing, I was like, yes, I like that. So tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so basically the word coach for me, it's just it's a guide, right? It's kind of like a teacher, but it's someone who's kind of guiding you along the way, motivating, inspiring, giving you little like tips and tricks on how to continue moving down the path that you want to move into. And for me, that really embodies the way that I approach my clients and the way that I approach my sessions. It's really a whole lifestyle of coaching that I like to approach. So I like to really talk about, and I think part of that stems back to my previous life as a personal trainer too. I think it stems back where we're covering all aspects of wellness. I sit down with the client for the first time and we're talking about nutrition, sleeping patterns. I want to know what your job is. I want to know what you do. And I'm having these conversations before we do our first downward dog. And I'm really breaking it down, and I ask a lot of in-depth questions. I want to know if you had an injury or you sprained your ankle when you were 9 years old. I want to know everything about you so that I can guide you and coach you the best way that I can with the tools that I have available. And if not, refer out. I'm a big fan of referring out. Really, because ultimately the goal is the same thing. I want you to be the best version of yourself, and so I want to be able to coach you along the way and kind of guide you. So for me, that's really what that means. Even though I know the like popular term is yoga teacher, right? Because we're teachers. Same time, I think part of that I guess I mixed both of my worlds as a coach or a trainer from before, and then teaching yoga now. They're like one.
Yeah, I love it. And you know, we were chatting a little bit before, and I think one of the things nowadays people are really looking forward is not just the physical aspect, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we have like you said, the nutrition, your past, your job. What do you think? Because I know the viewers are probably interested in hearing. Are some like, I'm not going to say quick, because in life nothing's really quick,
Right.
but
we find that out as we go. Nothing's quick.
Nothing's quick.
Yeah.
But what do you think are maybe some things that have helped your clients? Especially, I know you work with a lot of private clients. I know you work with a lot of athletes. You know, we'll talk about that in a minute. But what do you think are some ways that people have made like small shifts that have created big changes?
Yeah. So whether you're an athlete or, you know,
let's
anyone.
Let's do your 60-year-old client and then your
Sure.
pro athlete. Let's
do
it.
So I think for the person who's not an athlete, right? The average person, let's call them. I would say, even though none of us are average.
None of us are
average, but I would say just the person who's not a professional athlete, right? I think that one of the things that I like to suggest right from the get-go is get up in the morning, and as soon as you get up in the morning, make a healthy choice, and whether that's movement or it's meditation, or make yourself a healthy breakfast, or have your warm tea with lemon and turmeric, and whatever your process is, give yourself the first 30 minutes of your day where you're taking the time to make a healthy choice for yourself. And for some people, that's movement. So for some people, that's get up, throw your clothes on, throw your shoes on, get out and go for a run.
Yeah.
Or literally drive yourself to yoga class, or hop on your mat in your living room, or make yourself that cup of tea, sit by yourself for 15 minutes and meditate, whatever it is. But you've got to dedicate those first 15 to 30 minutes to you and your almost grounding, right?
Yeah.
And it's really all about creating a healthy choice. So whatever that means for you, create a healthy choice, because make that healthy choice, the likelihood that you're going to continue that for the rest of the day is huge. But if you wake up and you skip breakfast, and then you go to work, and then you decide that you're going to work out at noon comes around and you're hungry, you're not going to work out, and then something comes up at work and you can't work out after work, and then it's just a spiraling effect of non-healthy choices over and over again. And I've been there. I have to check myself sometimes, because we prioritize other things, right? We have 1,000 different things on our to-do list. We have 1,000 different aspects of our business, and sometimes some of them become more of a priority than others. I find myself having to check in with myself, and as a coach, I do this with my clients all the time. I have to ground them and check in and say, what is the healthy choice you're making the moment you wake up? What is it? Yeah. And if you don't have one, then you need to create one, because finding that, whatever it means for you, is going to set you up to make good decisions the rest of the day, the right decisions for you.
Oh yeah.
So that's really the first thing I get at, and we try, and through those one-on-one conversations is where I figure out it's not the same for everyone. So what is it for you? What does that healthy choice mean for you? For me, it's getting up and going for a run, or stepping on my mat. I have to move. The first thing I have to do when I get out of bed, I have to move. Before I do anything else, I have to move. But for some of my clients, it's sit down and either read with some tea or catch up on some news, but sit quietly. For some people, it's make myself a breakfast, because some people really enjoy just the act of cooking. It's almost like a self-service, right?
Yeah.
Like the act of cooking and cooking for themselves. There's a lot of like personal love that goes into that, and a lot of people enjoy that. So it's that, taking the time, make yourself a healthy breakfast.
Yeah.
So just make a good choice first thing in the morning, and you're going to see it spiral throughout the day.
Yeah. So if you're watching, here's right away something you can do to feel better is make the choice. And if you don't have a routine, if you don't have something that you're already doing, then that's where people like Amanda and myself come into play, because that's what we do for a living. And having that guide is so important. I can't really stress it enough.
So important.
So tell me a little bit about, let's talk about business, because this is also about conscious entrepreneurship and being an entrepreneur in the wellness space.
Yeah.
So I love to talk about how everything that we do on a day-to-day basis makes us happy. It fills our purpose, right? We're just talking about this aspect of conscious capitalism, and it has 3 P's, and I added the 4th, which was the purpose, right? People, product, profit, purpose. So what is it that you do on a day-to-day basis that fills your purpose?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, my purpose, I feel like, shifts a lot. We have this, like, at least for me, I have this kind of underlying purpose, which is I want to help other people, right? But I guess that's the umbrella, and what I do kind of changes really often. And I'm trying not to guilt myself over that and kind of just let it flow naturally out of me. And not feel like a flake every time I like switch directions, and kind of just flow with it. But what fills me with purpose on a daily basis, honestly, it's really self-serving, but being able to serve others just makes me happy. So it comes from a place of selfishness, and maybe that's true for all of us. But being able to help someone move closer to their dream or goal, whether it's through a conversation, me just showing up and being present, maybe being able to give some help, some advice, whatever that is, that fills like my purpose box. So I try to do that on a daily basis. I recently posted, I think it was on Instagram or Facebook, about how I want to have more conversations with people. I just want to connect more with my community, with the people that I'm surrounded with, and I said, hey, if there's any way that I can help you, or let's just sit down and have a conversation. Maybe it's not even help, maybe you just want a conversation. I want to be able to do that more, because I feel like it serves my purpose box. And maybe I'm helping someone along the way, and that is ultimately like the foundation. But on a day-to-day basis, it helps me feel good to just have a conversation and be able to offer some sort of helpful advice. And sometimes it's not even advice, sometimes it's just listening. It's like just being there,
and that aspect of listening, it's something we've, I think, lost a little bit as a culture because of the ADD phenomenon, that there's so many things to do all at so many times. I mean, right now we're streaming over 5 medias, and I always like to make the differentiation of hearing versus listening, and that's where the this art of attention comes in, this art of connection. So out of this purpose, right, that you're like, okay, now I'm living in integrity, I'm living with alignment, as yogis, we have to live in alignment. Tell me a little bit more about how you're filling your days. I know, like I said, we have some private clients, you teach some classes. So tell us a little bit about your business.
So, okay, so the I want to say my time right now is pretty much split 50-50 between 2 businesses. And there are other like sprinkled projects in there always, but really the 2 businesses are my private yoga business, and I started a business a year ago, an active fashion e-commerce store, which has been a whole lot of fun, a whole lot of work, but a whole lot of fun, called Icon Sportif. So I let go a year ago. I decided I was going to do this, set this foundation and move in that direction. I set the foundation and I let go of a lot of my private clients. It was last summer. It was last July, August. And I started dedicating. It's like I made the decision to do it, and it wasn't going to happen until I carved out the time slot. So I had to make the decision to let go of some money at the time so that I could build something that would ultimately create more, of that. And ultimately give me the time to be able to do more of the things that fill my purpose box. Which we've talked about a lot too, through Bizzy Yogi. So those are my 2 businesses. So what my day looks like is, in terms of time slots, every day is a little bit different, but for the most part, I wake up in the morning, try to get a workout in, I eat, and then I have 2, at most 3 privates that I do in a day. I don't want to do more than that because it takes away from what I'm trying to build. So after that, the rest of my day basically looks like either sitting at home on the computer or sitting at a coffee shop and working
on the computer.
business development. Yep, I wear all the hats in my business.
Yep.
I have an assistant who's starting to work with me now, which is
Awesome.
amazing.
I
It's such a
know.
big deal.
Love assistants. Thank
Oh
you,
my
assistants.
God, it's such a big deal, such a big deal. So I feel like relinquishing a little bit of control has been really hard for me, but I know that ultimately it's a step in the right direction, and it's great. It's just so great to be able to have someone else hands-on that's helping and growing with me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's spent a lot, marketing, website development, business development, sales, fulfillment center. I wear all of those hats, and now I have someone helping me. So
okay, good.
But yeah, it's
And breath.
Big breath in and out. Yeah, it was a lot of long nights, and now I'm able to sleep a little bit earlier, so I'm really excited about that. But that's pretty much what my day looks like. I'm doing maybe 2, at most 3, but really mostly 2 yoga privates in a day, and then I'm sitting somewhere on my laptop and just working and working and working and working, and really ultimately building. I want to build something special, and I want to use Icon Sportive not just as an e-commerce store to sell, active fashion wear, but more than anything, I want to use it as a platform to be able to work with, collaborate, and highlight the women in our community that are just doing amazing things, and not just women that are like movement teachers or coaches, but women in the wellness community that are doing incredible things. And I've been able to do that a little bit already in the last year, but now things are moving forward more, and I'm looking forward to some more fun projects and just community events, and just being able to do that's my fulfillment box, like my purpose box, is being able to like work and collaborate and help others. So yeah.
And more and more, I know as women, we are taking bigger roles in business. We're stepping up in the way that we show up as leaders, and this is a fun topic because we're stepping into roles that were maybe traditionally more like man roles.
100%.
We gotta say it, man roles.
Yeah.
And it's also about finding that balance of like nourishment, and because we have to create that balance. As yogis, I'm all about the balance.
Create the balance.
But one thing I love that you said was making the choice. Again, right? We start our day with a healthy choice, but you also made a choice to create space in order for something else to grow. And
that took me a while.
Yeah, I know.
It took me a very long time.
I know. When I started Bizzy Yogi, I also made that. It was like a conscious, unconscious choice. I know I need at the time.
Yeah.
And, it was like, I need the time to create this product because I know the product is going to give me the freedom to then do, to grow, to do other stuff.
100%.
So for those of you guys out there who are, thinking about starting a new project or, stepping into the entrepreneurship world, you have to make those choices. And you said, now I sleep a little bit longer, but there were days that you probably got up an hour early or went to sleep 2 hours later.
2, 3 in the morning, waking up at 6. It was like, exhausting, but
which is not the healthiest lifestyle, but at some points you have to like give a little bit to then receive. And now it's like, oh, I took a nap today and I woke up and somebody had signed up to work with me.
Right.
And I was like, magic, I took a nap. 2 years ago, a nap didn't exist because you're so busy filling up your time. So, being productive in a smart way is really the way for us as, I think, not just as women, but as entrepreneurs to have these like purpose boxes getting filled with things that make me happy and things that are going to also give me those non-negotiables, right? Like, I'm not going to give up my time. I'm not going to give up my freedom. I'm not going to give up my organic food. Like, everybody has non-negotiables that we have to uphold so high, because that's when the company that you're trying to build is going to grow.
Right. Because
you're starting, you keep connecting it to purpose. And as much as I know, as like I said, yoga teachers, movement teachers, we're so used to that business model that stopping it seems counterproductive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Totally.
So congratulations, first of all.
Thank you. And I think
it's a big step.
you hit it. It was
Like,
it was a step that was so long coming. It was just like there's no what's the word I'm looking for? Like everything is in divine order. I say that a lot to myself, right? Like there is this timeline that we have in our heads, but ultimately things happen and develop as they should, right?
Yeah.
However, that being said, if I could give anyone advice out there, I would say we have never lived in a time where it is easier to start your own business ever in the history of ever. So like we have so many tools accessible to us. We live in an age where it is literally in 20 minutes sitting at home, I can register a new business, start a website, and start selling stuff. Like in a couple of hours, I could have that set up and running. Yep. And there are also so many other platforms and tools out there that you don't have to be scared. You could really start whatever your business, whatever your purpose is, whatever it is that you're excited about or curious about. You can try for relatively inexpensive right now, like really cheap. And it's just easy. It's easy. Like it's made for the person who really, I didn't know how to build a website. I built my entire website on my own, completely 100%. I didn't even hire someone to do it for me. I did any aspect of it, actually.
I mean, there's YouTube University nowadays. There's
I YouTube everything.
See?
everything. Like how to Photoshop this.
Yeah.
How to create a logo. How to do this. YouTube
Where there's
everything.
a will, there's a way, and when there is no way, you ask.
Yeah.
You figure it out.
Yeah. And I think people get stuck in like the fear of what other people are going to think of them, shifting in different directions. The fear, which I was stuck in for a long time, the fear of letting go of money to make money, because you're like, I need the money now to be able to do this. So almost like trusting yourself is really hard. Yeah. And trusting the fact that you can do something and kind of moving in a direction and testing the waters is really tough. But it's definitely doable. So, and like I said, we just live in a time where if you have the hustle and the grind, you can build something special. You just have to do it. We have the tools accessible.
You just have to do it.
We have so many tools accessible, so don't be scared. Yeah, just take the step.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just
it's like
do
Nike.
it.
Just do it.
Yeah. Just do it.
So I know we're gonna step back from Icon Sportif because I know you were just in China.
I was in China.
Okay, tell us about China.
Yeah, China was so cool. It was such a unique and special experience for me. I work with athletes mostly in my private sessions. And one of the athletes that I've worked with is Dwayne Wade. So I've worked with him. We've only done a couple sessions, but he had asked basically his trainer to go with him to yoga. His trainer, I don't know if you guys know him, David Alexander. He's amazing. He has a spot, DBC, over in Design District. He works with a ton of athletes. Okay. And so he couldn't go. And basically asked me to go along and do yoga with him on the trip. And I was like, absolutely. So for him and the team that was there, and the team, I mean his like business team, right? Okay. It was incredible. It was, I at first I was like, China? Really? Are you serious? Yes? Awesome. I'm in 100%. I would love to go to China. I would love to do yoga. And it was special not just because I went to China, but it was special because I got to see and be inspired in a way that I didn't think I was going to be. So I got a lot more out of it than I really expected. I thought it was going to be just like a cool trip, a little bit of sightseeing while he's busy, mostly working out and doing yoga in the mornings every day to keep him in shape during the off season, and pretty much it, right? Going to store appearances, seeing what he does, and that's it. Really what I ended up seeing was this incredible brand that he built. So seeing the way that the Chinese market and his fans not just adore him, but really the brand. It's really the brand that he's built through Li Ning. It's incredible. And I know that it started as something completely different when he started a couple years ago. I don't remember if it was like 06, 07, 08, something like that. But what it is right now was phenomenal. I mean, everywhere we went, it was just like a crowd of fans.
Of Chinese fans!
Just absolutely,
awesome.
yeah, insanely, like, just wanting to catch a glimpse of him.
Wow.
I met a lot of the business contacts from Lining and some of the other brands that he works with, Wait Wine, and it was just incredible to have some conversations and to just hear the stories of where they all started and where they are right now, and just the process. So kind of sitting with some of these brands and hearing the conversations and me being able to ask some of the questions was amazing. And I didn't expect to get that out of it.
That's
I really didn't expect to make those connections. I didn't expect to have those conversations, to hear those stories, those experiences. So I got a lot more out of it as an entrepreneur. I came back really, really inspired, really hungry. And with this, just like, you travel a lot. So that everywhere you go and every travel experience you have, you come back different. You come back changed, right? Something inside of you literally shifts.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like that, especially about this trip, from a more entrepreneurial standpoint. So I just feel like I saw someone who came from South Side of Chicago build that. And that was awesome. And I felt so lucky to be there. Yeah. So lucky, so blessed to have the opportunity to be there, to be able to work with someone like him, and just to be like in the same room, hearing the conversations and being inspired by what not just him, but even, the other brands have been able to build that he works with. So it was special. It was really, really special.
Yeah. And I think something that's huge for all of us who are, thinking about, where's my next step, is that you have to take a chance. You have to take a chance and really put yourself out there and say yes to things.
Yeah.
And also say no to other things, So by saying no to maybe you're, having so many private clients or so many group classes, you're able to create that space. And, because if you have 15 classes a week and 5 privates, and then you're like, oh boy, I got to go to China, you might think about it twice. Oh, how am I going to cover this? Or, am I going to get fired from my job? So it's that sense of knowing that I got this, I control my schedule. I have that freedom. And then, like you said, it's like you were able to learn so many things from people that took the chance, that, had the right conversations.
Yeah.
That's huge.
And who never stopped trying. Right? Because you look at, so much of what I heard there too was, you look at the success that we have now, or that we're experiencing now, but there were a million bumps in the road and a million doors closed in my face, and sleepless nights and endless hours working on this and building this. And that's, I think, the side of it that a lot of people don't see, and people just kind of think that it's like a nice, smooth, like uphill, like battle to the top, right? It's like a smooth roller coaster ride up.
Well, there was a lot that built up to get there.
Yeah, and a lot of like this and this, and a lot of that going on. And so not just hearing that, but also being able to hear, I guess, a little bit more in detail, like their struggles, their like the trials that they went through, the things that happened along the way that other people, I guess, like entrepreneurs who are just starting. So like, I feel like I'm just starting, right? I feel like I'm really just like, I'm just opening, like just cracking the door open into my potential. But it's nice to see that. It was really inspiring to hear that. It was a nice reminder, because I think deep down we know that, but we forget. Right? We're in the day and age where we want everything. We want our success now. I started business last summer. I expect to be making $1 million today, right? You're like, why am I not a millionaire? Why am I not a millionaire? Right. And you're like, now. And it takes a really long time to build something special. And so, it is a really nice reminder when you're, when you're surrounded by people, or we make the choice to surround ourselves with people,
With the right people.
with people who are moving up and doing amazing things, inspiring things, and growing and fulfilling their dreams. And so I feel lucky to be able to be in that space. I feel lucky to have created that space.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes. Yeah, the word creation is so powerful in the way we manifest things, in the way that we make those conscious choices. You know, I have a mentor, and you know, she said one day, and I'll never forget this, you don't find your purpose, you create your purpose. And that's something so valuable for all of us to think about, because it's not like you're just wandering around and you're like, oh, there's a rock here, and you're like, oh, there's my purpose. No, right? And you get to change that purpose as time comes. There, you know, there's many, like you said, the foundations. There's many things that are going to be similar, but you know, as we evolve, as we, you know, again, as yogis, we're like moving up the chakras. As we start living a little bit higher, you know, going for the heart chakra, then all of a sudden, like, other things take more importance. You know, we decide to do certain things that we know are selfless and that we know are going to move us forward. I will say this again, if you guys have seen me speak at all, I say if anybody should be millionaires, it should be yogis. Like, by far. Please.
Agreed. Energetically, agreed.
Energetically,
yeah.
So tell us maybe some, you know, what's like your vision for the future? What are you looking to do? I know you're taking my yoga retreats course, so you're planning a retreat soon?
Yeah, I want to travel more for sure.
Okay.
And so basically, I want to put together a retreat. First, and this is going to satisfy many hats, right?
Many
boxes. Yep. First and foremost, I want to create a retreat because I have, again, a lot of private clients who are asking me for a retreat. And after taking your course, which was absolutely amazing, I really did learn so much, because I've never led a retreat before, ever, and I've wanted to, but there's this fear. I'm going to set up a retreat, and who's going to come? No one's going to come. No one cares, right? How am I going to pick up people to sign up for this? I'm the only one that wants to do this. No one else wants to do this. We start telling ourselves all of these stories. So you gave a lot of really, really great tips. But one of the things that you said that I thought was so valuable was ask your people. Ding, 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 ding. It's something that didn't occur to me before, even though I had done this, right? So one of the things we talked before we started the show, we talked a little about what were some of the like pivotal moments that kind of shifted my business. And for me, definitely one of the moments that shifted that in terms of yoga and personal training was when I started asking my clients for referrals. So I noticed that there were these like gaps, right? Gaps in my schedule. It's like I'm working an 8 to 9, and then I don't see one till 4. I can't get anyone. How am I supposed to like advertise? How am I supposed to get a client? As soon as I started verbalizing that I had time available to my clients, all of a sudden they started referring people. And all of a sudden my whole morning slot was booked up. And so I don't know why I didn't, like, putting the dots together. Like, it never occurred to me, I should just ask my clients if they want to go to a retreat. Where do they want to go? And if they want to go, when is a good time? So as soon as I had those conversations, like, the location opened up, and all of a sudden the timing opened up. And so to fulfill that, and also to fulfill my need and desire to travel, I want to lead a retreat. But also it is part of the overall progressive vision, shifting, or kind of connecting my world of yoga with my world of active fashion or e-commerce. So I want to lead Icon Sporty sponsored retreats.
Awesome.
So overall, like, wellness retreats, movement retreats. Yeah, retreats that link, like, these women that we're talking about that are, like, cultivating and building something special, and kind of put them in a room together, you know? So it's definitely the direction in terms of retreats, but for now it's going to be for my clients and whoever wants to join, because I am planning one for sure.
There's an invitation.
There's an invitation.
There's
an invitation. I am planning something for Puerto Rico, I think February of next year.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, there are a couple people that want to do that.
We'll keep you guys posted.
We'll keep you guys posted on that. But so where do I see myself, or what's my plan for the future? And I definitely want to build Icon so that I can ultimately pull back on doing the yoga privates, right?
that is something that I want to let go of as Icon starts growing, and I'm little by little creating the space for that.
Good.
Because it is, like we talked about, it's something that's going to give me the freedom.
Yeah.
It's going to give me the freedom to be able to grow and just move and continue progressing in the direction that I want to. Which definitely involves a lot of traveling, because I love to travel.
Yeah. And you know, if sorry to interrupt you, but one thing that, you know, when I asked you, also, what is Icon Sportif? Do you manufacture it? And something you said was, I work with small brands who are trying to grow. So by you growing Icon Sportif, you're also helping other entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
So now you see it's like a trickle down effect, which is even more awesome.
So awesome. Yeah, I spend a lot of time on the computer, like looking through social media accounts and trying to find brands, and there's so many amazing brands. For us, I mean, we literally, this is like the first time I've worn jeans in like a month, but it's like we live in these clothes, right? There's so many amazing brands that are creating incredible products, manufactured ethically and sustainably, like
socially
responsible, and they're creating something special, and they're new. They're 1 year, maybe 2 years old. That's it. That's the age of their company. And so trying to find those people and being able to work with them is special, because we're kind of on the same playing field. Yeah. And so we help each other grow. Yeah. Right? And so that's something special too. It's fun to be able to work with brands that are aligned with you. And then we have the same intentions. We're able to help each other. We grow together and build those relationships more than anything. So that is part. I want to be able to grow that. I want to be able to, I don't know if I want, at this point that might change, but I don't know if I want a physical location. I have some ideas about like what that might look like if I were to do one. It definitely wouldn't be like a traditional retail store, brick and mortar, but I'm not sure if I want to do that just yet. We have to see like where this develops into, and the timing, and just the climate of the culture at that time, right? Yeah. But for now, it's an e-commerce store, so sold strictly online. We do a lot of pop-ups in the community in Miami right now. We're going to start doing some more in New York and some in LA, which is awesome. But ultimately, I would like to pack up my bags and move to California and set up shop over there, because I love the mountains and the ocean. And as much as I love Miami, I want to be on the West Coast for a little bit. So I want to take my business over there. That's cool. Yeah.
It's location independence, you know, at the end of the day is that freedom that we're talking about, or, you know, hashtag laptop life, my new hashtag yoga hacking,
all about that.
Changing the culture of the way we do business, changing the culture of the way we see ourselves as leaders, as women, as entrepreneurs, as yogis. And, you know, first of all, like, again, I'm super proud of you for stepping into your role and following your dreams. Yeah. This is huge, you know, and we talked about it a little minute right before we went live, and, you know, you're like, oh, I want to start a podcast, but I'm so scared. And, you know, if I see a vision in your future, I see a podcast as well.
I definitely want to start a podcast. Oh my God, I've been battling with that one for so long. We tell ourselves again with the stories, who's going to listen? No one cares what I have to say. It's going to be my Dear Diary, so watch out.
We have an audience today of people that have come to listen to us, so look at that.
Awesome. Follow my podcast. Sorry. Starting my podcast. Coming soon.
Coming soon. So if people wanted to connect with you, I know your social media is pretty big. Amanda Mestre.
Amanda_Mestre.
Okay, so you guys can follow Amanda there. And, you know, I hope that this is not the last time we see you on Bizzy Wellness TV.
Love to come back.
Like I said, Amanda, you know, is an inspiration to a lot of us, to myself. You know, I was lucky that she trusted me to be one of my clients at Bizzy Yogi. So I hope to work with her more, and other amazing, amazing women who, you know, we are trying to change the world one breath at a time, one business at a time. So for those of you who are interested in learning more about Amanda and what I'm doing, please go to BizzyYogiTV.com. And there I have a lot of awesome information. If you're looking to be a speaker on the show, please apply. And also, We have some really great panels lined up for future shows, so please stay tuned. Join our email list because that's where you'll have all the information about what we're doing here at MMM Gallery here in Miami. Really trying to go global with our intentions, with our purpose, and making our possibilities really available for all of us. And I'm, again, super honored to have you on the show today. And thank you, everybody. Please, like I said, BizzyYogiTV.com. And Amanda Mestre, thank you. High
Thank
five.
you.
Boom.
Yeah. Nailed
And
it.
we're done.
Awesome.
Bye.